What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to be saving my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
What you got?
So I was calling in because I wanted to I was talking to Tiffany in the chat room a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to really answer your question. But this is just to you because I wanted to know, in my case, I'm a little bit older than her. I'm 39 and no kids.
She thought she was older
never
than me.
Been married. I'm sorry?
She thought she was older than me.
Who?
Tiffany. She was shocked when I told her how old I was. Be 39, never been married. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, 39, no kids, never been married. And I was just kind of thinking about your the conversation that you were having with her, and I know she came from a perspective, from a Christian perspective, and I'm a Christian too, but I'm just really starting to get into the Bible and going to church and stuff. So I'm very new at it.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, like, as far as like my chances of becoming married and having children might be pretty slim. Would you say?
Wow,
based on,
I don't know yet.
like,
I gotta ask some questions. I don't know yet.
Okay.
You're 39? What city do you live in?
I live in the Seattle, Tacoma area, Washington State.
And you're black?
Yes.
So some of the wealthiest black men are in Seattle area. So the most successful black men are in your area. You want to find successful black men? Seattle's kind of where you go. So let's get into it. Height, weight, dress size.
Oh boy, I think this is what's gonna be the big kicker. So I'm 5'2". I'm probably a size 16 dress. And what was the other question you asked? Like weight?
Weight.
Over 200.
And you're 39?
Yes.
Any children?
No children.
Okay. Well, obviously that is going to be a huge consideration, because in a man's mind, first thing he asks is, at how tall are you? 5 what?
5'2".
5'2". 5'2", you're 2 inches shorter than normal. A man's mind logically asks the question, why is she this size? That's what a man logically says. And most people assume they see a woman your age, your weight, that you have had multiple children. That's a fair assumption. They'll assume you have multiple children. And then if you find out you don't have children, the next question is going to be, and I mean this in no disrespectful way, how did you allow yourself to get this way? Is there something medically wrong? Guys go through a complex set of stuff, but if it comes out that you're not married, no children, no like hyperthyroidism or hypo, whichever one of it, whichever Graves' disease causes you to put on weight, guys look at women your height and weight and they just assume, she's just not motivated, she's lazy, these kind of things. And the kind of guys who are high earners, they are dealing with women who are going to be, they get the best of the best.
Right.
So my question is this: what are you doing to actually drop like arguably 80 pounds? Or have you always been a big girl?
I've always been a big girl. The lowest that I've been is probably like 195, and that was about maybe 7 years ago. And I mean, I was okay then. Mind you, I was 32.
No, ma'am, you weren't okay. You weren't okay. You weren't okay at 195 pounds at 5'2". That is almost 40% BMI. That is very dangerous. It's not, see, in the black community, we've allowed this narrative to get to the point to where it's just out of control. To where, again, no offense, to where you sound like an intelligent woman, to where you could say you were okay at 5'2", 195 pounds. Ma'am, you weigh more than I do. And I'm a foot and 2 inches taller than you. And you can't have always been this size. there was a point to where you, and I don't know why. Let me back up. Have you ever gone to any kind of counseling or therapy?
Yes, I have actually. I
So
have.
are you an emotional eater?
Um, I've never
Were you this size in
really.
high school?
I was probably like 185, 190 in high school. So I've
Were
always
were
been
you
pretty
or were
pretty
you raised by
big.
mom and dad?
No, just my mom.
Okay. See, a father would not have allowed his daughter to get to that size.
Hmm.
He would have known that he'd been handicapping her on the open market. So, was your mother a large woman?
Yeah, she was 5'8" and about, I think she was over 300, but she had lost the weight.
Okay.
So
And
she
do you have
got
any
down to
siblings?
probably like, okay, so I do have siblings, but they're half
I
siblings. So
mean,
they
do your
live in
mother
Texas.
any children that live with you and your mother?
No, I was the only child.
Okay. So, and how much older is your mother than you?
My mom passed away, so
Okay. I'm
she
sorry to
was
hear that.
25 when she had me.
Okay.
That's okay.
So a younger mother, and I'm going to assume that she probably didn't have a relationship during your lifetime.
I'm sorry, you
Did she
broke
have a
up.
relationship during your lifetime?
With my mom?
Did she have a man?
Oh no, no, no.
Or
She was only with my father,
so
and then after.
so so when you were born, you became a sister to her, and y'all live by. So this. I've seen this in my lifetime. So here's the net of it. Whatever it is, ma'am, you are allowed to be an unhealthy weight for a majority of your life. It stands to reason that without major measures, this is the size you're going to be. I mean, there's surgeries because dieting won't just get it done. You're going to have to make a wholesale life change.
Right.
So, at what point are you planning on forget husbands and everything else? At what point do you plan on doing that just so you don't die?
I'm definitely making an effort now. I'm
What does that
definitely
mean?
eating a lot healthier.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm
Are
eating
you
smaller
working? Are
portions.
you act no? What I mean, are you actually working with a nutritionist and a personal trainer and in the gym 5 days a week?
Well, in Washington State, our gyms haven't opened yet, so
Okay,
I would have to do it on my
Before
own
COVID, were
currently.
you in the gym 5 days a week?
No, I was not.
Okay, then you're not seriously doing anything.
Okay.
Seriously, ma'am. At this point, you're almost 40.
Hmm.
You're going to start having joint problems. I mean, you've heard all these statistics.
Hmm.
And I don't know what your mother passed from, but being at this size and having no siblings, you're out there by yourself. So it's not all these things are make it uh, affect your chances on the dating market. But your priority should be your health.
Right.
And see, by if you think your priority your health, it will show in your body, and then anybody who's actually looking for a woman can see that you're in the area. Uh, what do you do for a living?
I actually write citations for vehicles, so like a meter maid.
Okay. Um, so you'd be looking if you were to get married, you'd want a man that was making about how much money a year?
Well, I make just under six figures, so
Okay.
probably about the same, something comparable.
Okay. That's not realistic.
Okay.
I'll tell you why it's not realistic.
Why is that? I'm curious to know.
Men who make that kind of money, why would they date a woman that's 5'2" and almost 200 pounds?
Yeah. I mean, that's my last relationship was like that. And he was from Louisiana, so he moved here for me.
Okay,
Um,
and how much did he make when he
but
moved
that
there?
didn't work out.
How much did he make when he moved
I'm so-
there?
Well, he was a plumber, so his rate of pay drastically changed from $30 an hour in Louisiana up to now he's making like $60 an hour
How
here.
much did he make when he was moving there?
Well, he had to get his license, so he wasn't making anything for like the first couple months because he had to get his license. But then once he gets his license,
Just
then
give me
he's
the
making
number,
$50.
ma'am. Just how much was he making a year, ma'am?
A year. So I mean, I think probably 105,000 a year or so. I want to say, at
Okay.
least.
Okay. So he was making $30 an hour in Louisiana, and then he could
Mhm.
moved up there, and then who broke off the relationship?
I did. I broke off the relationship.
Why?
He's very controlling and abusive.
Okay. Let me back up. Men
Okay.
with options
Mhm.
don't move for women. Men with options don't move for women. Women move for men with options. So, however you slice it, he moved for you. So, obviously, he was under you. I don't really need to know what's going on in there, but the net of it is at your age, you got to get you need to drop 80, 90 pounds.
Okay.
And you're not going to do that with diet alone on your own.
Right.
If you have the means, when are you going to actually get in with a personal trainer, a nutritionist, maybe even have surgery if that's what's required? That's really where it is. I mean,
Right.
your weight is a major issue, and
Right. And that's why I appreciate, I appreciate your honesty, more than anything. I know that it may come off harsh for some people, but for me, I need that reality check so I know
well,
what
I just
what I
don't
have
want
to
you. I
do.
don't
And I
want you
think
to die of a heart attack or diabetes or something like that. And that's what happened. I mean, you're not 22 anymore. Your body cannot
right,
handle this amount of weight and stress. And you're a city employee or a state employee or something like that.
I'm a city employee.
Okay, ma'am. I don't wish this on you, but you got to look at what's going on in the world right now. COVID,
Hmm.
all this other kind of stuff. When budget starts happening, they can automate you like that.
Hmm.
And what happens when you're writing citations? What happens if you lose that job
I
and those
lose my house.
benefits, and you lose those benefits because you have benefits, right?
Right.
Then I
Right.
suggest you use them while you have them.
Hmm. And that's the other thing, Kevin, I wanted to say, or Mr. Samuels, is that, my job has, Weight Watchers as an option. I mean, I know it's something, right? If I'm not able to go in to see a nutritionist,
No,
then
no,
I mean,
no,
I
no,
do
no,
have
no,
options
no,
that
no, 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 no. We don't take halves. You go all the way plus some. You are 40 years old and
okay,
almost 200 pounds. I don't want to hear any halfway measures. You need to go
right,
as hard and as far as you possibly can go to save your life.
okay,
Don't give me this halfway. I can go eat Weight Watchers and eat smaller portions. You've been this way since high school.
yep,
See, this is psychological. It's more than anything else. And some of this stuff I'm outside of my depth. That's why I suggest therapy because there's
hmm,
nothing logical or rational in what you just said to me. Danny, what's going on?
thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. I'm gonna be a meme. I'm gonna be a meme. Oh, we're gonna have fun with you. Let's put him in Facetune. Oh, let's do this real quick. How are you, Liz? Unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. All right. So, what do you got for me on the topic?
Okay. So, I'm single and I'm in the middle of trying to figure out what I need to do in my life to attract high value men.
What you need to do to attract a high value man?
Hmm.
Do you have any children?
No, I'm single.
No, single just means you're not married.
No kids.
Okay.
No baggage.
Okay. And you said you're how old again?
28.
All right. Well, as like I always do, I ask the questions. How tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
Dress size?
6.
How much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
148.
Okay. So, and then what would you give yourself? Where would you rank yourself? Fresh face out of the shower, your natural hair, you can't use 6. I mean, you can't use 7.
I can't use the number 7.
Nope. Mm.
7.5.
Can't use any multiple of 7.
Fresh face. I would say I would think an 8/6.
An 8? Okay.
Over 6. Mhm.
So you put yourself up there with Beyonce.
No.
Okay, well that's approximately about an 8. So
Okay. Then a 6.
yeah, closer to 6. But why would you go? I'm curious. Why would you go for an 8? Because an 8 is 2 steps away from 10. Are you really that? Do you think?
I think that I work really hard on my body, so that
Mhm.
helps.
Okay, all right. But are you 2 steps away from 10?
I would guess not.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you because who's a 10 in your mind?
A 10 in my mind would be like Jessica Alba.
Mm-hmm. And you're 2 steps away from her?
No.
Okay. So why do you want a high value man?
Because I believe a high value man has qualities in his life that I'm continuously trying to work on in my life. So someone that's ambitious, has goals, has a healthy mindset, emotionally intelligent.
Okay. But why do you
So
want that? But do you want that because you have it?
no, it's because it's something that I'm continuously like working on and I'm trying to achieve, and I feel like I just don't want to be average in life. And
You don't want to be average. Did you go to college?
yes,
What's your degree in?
graphic design.
Um, and what state are you living in?
New York.
Okay. Would you say are you making more than $80,000 a year?
Not at all.
So you say you don't want to be average.
No.
Okay, but if you had to live on what you earn, would you have an above average lifestyle or an average lifestyle?
I have an average lifestyle.
So you want a man that's going to give you more than you can earn for yourself.
Hmm.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is he going to get?
Well, I will definitely be a great support system. Um, I believe in doing like the qualities that a man is looking for. So like cooking and I would still work. That's why I like the job of being a graphic designer, because I can be able to like raise a family. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like raise a family, like be a good support system, cooking, cleaning, loyalty, love, support.
Okay. And how many kids would you like to have?
I guess that would depend on the income. So I like a big family because I come from a big family. So maybe like 3 or 4.
3 or 4 in New York. How much money are you gonna need to make to have a family of 3 or 4 in New York City?
A lot of money. Well, I don't live in New York City, but I know I would have to make a lot of
Okay. Um, and my overall question is what you're offering a fair deal for a guy who has to become a high value man? What do you think?
I would guess not. I guess that's my question for you is what should I do to as a because I know like 10s can get what they want. So like as a 6, what
Well,
do
sixes
I
can get what sixes. Sixes can do. You don't want to be average, but 6 is just above average. Is it not?
I would say 6 and 5 are like average.
Yeah. So 6 and 5 are around average, and you say you don't want to live an average life, but I'm like, okay. But if you're average, then
I guess my question is if I can't change like how my face looks, how
mhm,
do I become not as average?
you don't. I mean, you just don't. I mean, your face is what it is, right? Okay. So if you can't change your face, what'd you say? You can't change your face, right?
Right.
Well, then what do you expect to do?
That's my question.
Mm-hmm. So are you asking for a fair deal was the question. You want to, if you're an average woman, but you're not expect, but you don't want a fair deal.
Well, I would think that I have more to offer than my face.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But what else do you have to offer?
I think I'm extremely resilient and
Mm-hmm.
I have very deep like passion for life and anything I do and everything that I like put my heart into.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that sets me apart because whenever I put my mind to something, I believe that I try to outperform the rest.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's fine. But then the question still becomes the same. Is what you're offering enough to equate for what a man who is going to have to become, you know, three, 400, $500,000 a year.
I don't know.
Hmm?
I'm not sure.
Well,
It's
so why can't you just live an average life? Because that's what you set to live right now, right?
that's what I'm looking right now.
And that's what you're set to live right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then why can't you just live that with a man?
Because I want to know if it's attainable for me to go higher.
Well, the thing is, in order to go higher, you'd have to get a man. And do you think that that's a fair deal? Why should a man have to take you higher?
No. Like, I want to know what I have to do to take myself higher to attract a high value man. So I can feel like.
Well, he's already a high value man, so you can't take him any higher. You'll just go along for the ride.
No. I guess, yeah. So how do I become a high value woman?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, the issue is, man, you want to be a high value woman just because you want to live the lifestyle. That's
I
what
want
you.
to embody.
Huh?
I want to embody and be that person for sure.
For what though?
For what? Because I just love growth. Like, why would I want to stop at being mediocre in life? Like, why would I be content with not growth? It's like the human experience is to want growth and continuously like reach that next level.
Yeah, but the next level isn't your level though.
Why not?
Because you can't earn it. Your way of getting to the next level, that growth or whatever we're talking about, is basically through a man, which is
No.
you're getting what he gets.
Yes, I'm asking how. So for me to become that, because I want to be that for myself as well.
Yeah, you want to be that for yourself as well, but
Yeah,
you want to be that for yourself as well so you can get what you want.
definitely.
Right. So this just shows that women want men as tools, which is fine.
Well, how would I use him as a tool?
Okay, ma'am, you're an average woman, you're a graphic designer. Why don't you marry just an average guy and live an average life?
I just said I want growth.
Well, no, you don't want to grow. You want more than you're worth. Where'd you go to college?
School of Visual Arts.
Why didn't you go to Princeton?
Because School of Visual Arts is more of the field that I was looking at.
Could you get into Princeton?
No.
Right. Why didn't you wait to grow to get into Princeton?
Because I had my heart set on the School of Visual Arts.
Ma'am, you get what you are in this world. Okay. If you're an average woman, a little bit of average, you get an average. You don't just decide to say, I want to grow and I want this because I want the outcome. You want what somebody else has to earn. He wants something too. If you had to evolve and grow to be a high value man and to make the kind of money and become the kind of man that is, would you want to settle for an average woman or cute woman? Or would you want the baddest one you can get?
The baddest one I can
Thank you. Thank you. So if the situation were reversed, you'd want more than you.
Yeah, so that's why I want to know what I needed to do.
You can't.
The top.
You can't. You can't. You are what you are. You're 6. You're 6. And you're 32? How old did you say again?
28.
28. You're already in the danger zone. Danger zone. No kids, no clue. And your reason for wanting to do this is because you want access to a lifestyle you can't afford. That is likely some of the worst reasons for a man who has what you're talking about to pick a woman. Your motives aren't really good. You can say it's because you want to grow. Why can't you grow with the guy who's a coder or a computer programmer? Why can't you grow with him?
I never said I couldn't.
Yeah, but then that's not high value. Then now is it?
Why not? I guess
Are you being serious? Are you just trying to be a pain in my ass? I mean, computer programmers, a guy, you're not making that kind of money. Are you? Would you consider a man making what you make in high value?
No, but there are.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't want to hear this shit about there are. I said a man making around what you're making, doing what you're doing. Why can't you be his wife and grow with him and evolve with him?
I would be content with that, actually.
What?
I would be content with that, actually.
Okay, we'll go get it.
Damn, this call was another reminder of just how wide the gap really is. Not just between men and women, but between how reality plays out for everyday people and the version of reality that gets pushed by the media. See, when a man speaks up about his experience, especially a black man, it's often met with pushback. He's labeled bitter, toxic, or just plain wrong. And the sad part, that silencing doesn't just affect one group, it affects all of us. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not even just a black issue anymore. These days, just being a man who has standards, who thinks critically, who wants peace in his home, that's enough to get you painted as the problem. It's wild. There's a system at play here. And no, I'm not talking about some big conspiracy theory. I'm talking about the real day-to-day structure that profits when men and women are disconnected. Think about it. If you're not in a committed relationship, that's 2 apartments, 2 rents or mortgages, 2 car notes, 2 grocery bills, 2 internet subscriptions, there's even 2 Netflix accounts. There's a reason the system promotes independence over interdependence, because there's more money in separation than in unity. And here's something that really doesn't get talked about enough. Population decline. I know it sounds far removed, but it's real. It's already affecting parts of Asia and Europe. And it's coming here too. Fewer people are getting married, fewer people are having kids, and the long-term effects of that are going to be serious. Forget the politics, forget the social media debates. If we keep going down this road, we're going to wake up in a world where loneliness is normal, connection is rare, and starting a family feels like a luxury instead of a basic human milestone. And look, no one's saying you have to get married or have to start a family. That's your choice. But make sure it's your choice, not something you were conditioned into by fear, by bad examples, or by narratives designed to keep you isolated and spending. At the end of the day, what Kevin was always trying to do was hold up a mirror. Not to shame anybody, not to blame women, but to force all of us, men and women, to take accountability and think long term. Because the cost of not building wisely is generational. So if you got something out of this, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious what y'all think. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Hello. Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm so
What?
excited.
Okay. How old are you?
I am 32.
All right. So are you single or are you married? I see you Zoom user. I got you. You're 32. What
Yeah,
do you got?
I'm single.
What do you got? So what do you got for me on the topic?
I'm single and I'm looking for a man.
Okay, but
That's
I got a
I'm
topic
looking.
tonight. Are you calling in on my
Okay.
topic?
No.
Okay, you gotta wait. I gotta be calling in on the topic. I got an entire show that I put together. If you just want to talk about what you want to talk about, if I have time at the end, maybe I'll get to it. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How old are you? How old are you?
32. Can you hear me?
Barely. You were cutting in and out. Say again. Okay.
Let me take my.
Are you on a mobile device? All righty then. Are
Hey,
you
can you
on
hear
a?
me now?
Oh yeah. How old are you again? Jesus.
All right. 32.
What? Okay. What's going on with your phone?
Sorry, I had my AirPods in, and for some reason it wasn't connecting, so I just took them off.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So what do you got for me on the topic?
Well, I feel like, and I know, I can't really speak for everybody because I am a little big myself, but I feel like a lot of the weight issues, I think, comes from like a self-esteem point of view from a lot of women, and it kind of feel like guys are supposed
We
to
don't care.
accept that.
We
Feel,
don't. We don't care.
yeah. So for me, like I actually like the reason why I even found you was actually through a male friend of mine, and I've been watching a lot of your videos. So a lot of the points that you're saying, like it really makes sense. And for me, like I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe if I start doing this, maybe if I do start working out, guys may look at me in a different light. But sometimes, like even with your weight, it's more of a self realization, something that you
Hold on,
want
just a second. Hold on, just a second. And to my critics and detractors, when I say we don't care, we don't. Just like a woman doesn't care why a man is a broke dusty. You don't care. Human beings choose based on outcomes and results, not should be's. So you're saying that even if you start addressing the weight, then what?
Yeah, so like for me, I feel like it's like Darwinism. Like you kind of, it's like survival of the fittest in the world of dating when it comes to weight, when it comes to a lot of, um, pretty much the mating or the guys pursuing the ladies. So I think with us looking a certain way is not only to attract or the guy's attention, but I think as it's the same way of having that type of self-esteem and confidence, to say like I look a certain way. And for me, I kind of think of it like if the world was about to end and it's an apocalypse and we got to run and the guy is speeding off and I can't catch up because I'm overweight, like it could be a problem. Like we should be able to run as a team.
And you said you're how old
And
again?
32.
32?
Yeah.
Any children?
No.
Okay. How much the most you've ever weighed?
210.
Okay.
Right now I'm like 180.
How tall are you?
5'5".
So what men don't understand is how you guys,
Get that up, that weight up.
yeah, how you guys do this and how you justify it. Because
Well, for me,
it's not like human beings eat a big meal and then go to bed and then you're less. I know it takes time, but at 32, do you want to have children one day?
I do.
Do you want to
I
be
do.
married one day?
I do.
Okay. So when was the last time you were a dress size US 4?
Actually, like high school, like freshman.
Freshman year? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
when you're a freshman, you're 14 years old, 14 to 15. So by my quick math, that's over half your life ago.
yeah. I think for me too, like even with me being like at 160 or like 175, I didn't look like it. Like I looked smaller than what my size was, and it's always been like that.
You look
But
smaller to who? The black men?
well, like
If I put you in a room full of, if I put you in a room full of men from China or a room full of white men, would you be making the same statement?
oh no, of course not.
Then
I
then
mean,
then then hold on, stop. So the context is I look smaller in the black male or black cultural context. But if I put you in a room with just a bunch of different race men, you wouldn't make the same they would make the same argument. It would be a non-starting argument.
true. That's true.
So this is why black as a man, we're just tired of hearing we're tired of hearing all of that because we feel the internet. People had a belief, but on the internet now we see how differently women act with different men. And gentlemen, this is where we as men got to understand that accepting this stuff, calling it thick, and then that shit won't work. But at 32,
Yeah. It's a different perspective as you get older. That's why I said sometimes it's like just self-realizing that, I need to make some
did you go to college?
changes. And a lot of weight is gained through
Did you
bad
go to college?
relationships. Say that again?
Did you go to college?
Yes.
Did you get your degree?
No.
What is it in?
Criminal justice.
Okay, another useless degree. So if you don't get married, how are you going to provide for yourself between age 65 and 85 with a criminal justice degree?
Um, well, I'm like a minimalist, so I wouldn't like,
How much are you going
buy
to,
like
okay,
a,
minimalist or not, you're still going to be 65. How much do you think you need to retire on for that 20 years? How much cash?
I would say in the field of criminal justice, maybe 500,000.
Mhm. Are you making more than $75,000 a year?
No,
More than 60?
like around 60.
What city do you live in?
California,
Northern or
Sacramento.
southern? Sacramento. So cost of living is higher there, though. So, ma'am, the number is really about $1.9 million. And the long way around it is without a marriage, as a single person, you won't have enough money to live in your elder years. Bottom line, no matter how we get around to it, the world is not set up for single people aging.
I completely agree. I wish I like knew you back like 10 years ago to give like, you know, some type of advice. Is we get caught up in our own world and we don't,
I get it.
realize
I
on it.
get. I
And
get it.
like
I get it.
now,
I get it. But the problem is you're 32, and if you want to get the outcomes, you got no time.
yeah, that I do know. That I do
Huh?
know. I said that I do know.
Okay. So how many days a week are you
So
working
that's
out?
why I'm kind of
So
on
how many
it.
days a week are you working out?
Right now, 3.
How many hours?
Yeah, because
How long? How long are your workouts?
an hour and a half.
What kind of workout are you doing?
A lot of deadlifts, weightlifting, some jump rope. Um, that's pretty much it. I just do like home workouts. And then I work a lot. So when I'm at work, I work out on my break. I do care home, so it's easy for
You
me to
work
stay.
out. You work out for an hour and a half at home.
Hmm.
And how much weight have you lost in the last 90 days?
Um, in the 90 days, because I just started. So last month, I lost 15. Um, and then I don't know so far from last month to now because I haven't weighed myself.
Okay.
And that's with me eating, eating right and cutting a lot of like sugars and carbs and stuff. So
Okay. See, this is what I understand is why women in your position who know that you didn't get the right information for whatever, you're where we are, why y'all aren't really working out with a trainer and doing everything you can to get down to a healthy weight. When I said you don't have any time, that's what I meant, no time.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
And for me, it's I don't have any more distractions for me to like before it was just I couldn't focus on, the simplest things of, a healthy diet or something else, which is no excuse, but we get sidetracked with so much stuff that gets us off course and we forget to get back on that, on the bandwagon. So
well, that doesn't sound good, man, because honestly, it sounds like you can lose weight. And see, men fear situations like this because what men don't hear is she'll lose the weight, and then when she get a man, she'll blow right back up.
yeah. And see, that's what I don't want. Because if I was to meet somebody,
But
like I
what,
would want.
but what you're not okay. Knowledge is good, but I'm beyond the point of thinking that the reason so many women today are so out of shape is because they don't like knowledge. Just I think y'all just lazy. just lazy, and they think somebody's going to accept it. And now after 30, it's like, okay, well, shit, it's not happening, and y'all aren't moving with any real sense of urgency. You gotta outcompete the 23-year-old version of yourself and all other women out there. So because if you mess around and get to 40 single, that's a wrap. And I mean, like it or not, man, the math is the same. How you gonna pay for life? So like, man, you scaring women. I hope so. I hope so. I hope I'm scaring the shit out of y'all so you start recognizing that you don't have time to be wasting.
Yeah, it's definitely a wake up call. I think for me too, coming out of a relationship where the guy really didn't care.
How long were you in a relationship?
That again?
How long were you in the relationship?
2.5 years. We ended last June.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, like I was telling you, women, y'all got to get the bigger parts of your life together. Getting fit, that's just the one part of it. Then you got to get competitive. So, I don't know. Sad part is, the truth of the matter is, most of our women just expect men just to accept it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And I don't. You know,
Well, I said most of our women know. They say they don't, but y'all, they really do.
Shout out to Kevin Samuels for another impactful conversation. This one with Isis brought out a lot of truth and a lot of discomfort, which is exactly what growth feels like. Now, let's be real. What we just heard was a clash between intention and preparation. A young woman says she was raised to be a wife, but the values and skills don't match up with what that actually looks like. And this is the core issue Kevin broke down so well. Wanting a lifestyle doesn't mean you're ready to live it. A $300,000 life comes with $300,000 expectations. And if you haven't been trained for that position, it's no surprise when the role doesn't get offered to you. But it gets deeper. What really stood out was the conversation about media messaging. Kevin flipped the mirror on the idea that it's the media's fault without accountability. Because when you control the content, the narrative, and the platform, then you are responsible for what gets amplified. We can't keep pointing fingers at invisible forces when the real decision makers are right in our own community. Here's the Stoic takeaway. You must control your inputs. If your reality doesn't match your desires, you need to audit your upbringing, your training, and your influences. Ask yourself honestly, was I prepared for the life I say I want? Or was I just handed dreams with no tools? And one more thing. Kevin touched on something most people ignore. There's profit in dysfunction. The system doesn't want strong bonded couples. They want 2 incomes, 2 rent payments, and lifelong consumers. They don't sell you stability because peace doesn't sell. But peace builds empires. Families build legacies. So to everyone watching, man or woman, the path forward starts with brutal honesty. If you want the traditional outcomes, you need traditional values. Not just in theory, in practice, daily. As always, thank you for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Was Kevin on point? Was the caller being realistic or just hopeful? Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss another deep breakdown just like this one. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.
Okie dokie.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Why are you so angry?
I'm sorry. I can't.
Why?
Okay.
Okay. You
There.
got YouTube.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's
Zoom
YouTube.
every single day and I couldn't get this to work.
Well,
why am I angry?
Yes.
Okay. I can't say that I'm angry, but it is annoying when I meet men and they're just all in the very beginning. They're saying everything that they want. And then all of a sudden they ghost.
How old are
They
you?
ghost and they're still out there just playing.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
They're all in the beginning and they say everything
In the very beginning.
Okay.
Yes, they're all in. They're saying, "Oh, I want this, I want that," and then after a month or two, you can just tell that they're still out there just playing around.
Okay. Well, all men are like that? I mean, that's what I'm trying to understand. I mean,
Yes, it seems like it's getting like that. Yes.
really?
Maybe it's where I'm located.
Well, where do you live?
Dallas.
No. No, I spent 11 years in Dallas, and Dallas has some of the most. Anyway, 42.
They're married.
Huh? No,
They're
Dallas.
married.
No, Dallas has some. I'll be in Dallas either this week or next week. I'm coming to Texas because we got a problem, and I live most of my adult life in Dallas. Where do you go to church?
Boy, it's happening here in Dallas.
Where do you go to church?
Me and my girlfriend.
What do you go to?
About this all the
Where do you go to church?
Concord.
When's your last relationship?
My last relationship was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And who ended that?
I did.
Why?
Because he ended up being married.
What do you mean ended up being married? He was married when you met him.
He was married when I met him, and
right.
I had no idea that he was.
So how old are you?
Married.
You're 42?
42. Mm-hmm.
You can't run a background check on a dude?
Well, that's how I ended up. No, I usually don't do stuff like that, but that's how I ended up knowing that he was married.
So basically, what you're trying to get me to accept is all the men in Dallas are fuckboys and losers, and I'm just gonna say no, man. Relationships are reflective because I know plenty of men in Dallas that don't fall into that category.
Oh, well, I haven't met them.
Well, let's dig into that a little bit deeper. Do you want to be married?
I do.
You have any children?
I don't.
You want children?
I do. I go back and forth. The older I get,
At
I have
42?
to say that. I'm sorry.
At 42?
At 42, do I want children?
Yeah, I mean biological children at 42.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How's that gonna happen?
Well,
have you talked to your OBGYN?
Well, I have a situation. I would actually have to have a surrogate.
Okay.
I froze my egg, so okay. I'm a cancer survivor.
So am I.
Right on.
So the problem is men, not the women, not you. What are you looking for in a man? What are you looking for in a man?
Honesty. I mean, aren't we all looking for the same thing?
Nope.
All women?
Nope.
No. I want someone who's in the church. You know, I want someone who has a great job.
Why do you want them to be in the church? Why do you want them to be in the church?
I mean, they don't have to be necessarily like active in the church, but I would like for them to be a Christian, I should say.
Why?
I would like for them to have the same faith that I do. I think.
Okay, so you go to Concord. Is the pastor helping you find the man?
He's not, and I actually know my pastor really well. I've never talked to my pastor about this.
Really? How long you been in Concord?
I mentor his daughter.
But I know. I asked you how long you been in Concord.
I've been at Concord for 10 years now.
Right.
11 years.
Right. Concord in Dallas, and you're not working with the pastor to help you find a husband.
I am not.
That makes sense. Why?
I'm sorry, you said why not?
That makes sense. Why?
You know, it just never crossed my mind.
Brian Carter. That's what I thought. Brian Carter.
Pastor Carter.
Never crossed your mind. You've been there 10 years and you want your man to be in the church or from the church, but you're not working with the pastor of the church or men in the church. Are you in the singles ministry?
You know, I was a part of the singles group.
Okay, you're a part
I was in the singles group for about 6 months, but everyone was just younger than me. And I was 37 at the time. And everyone was late 20s to early 30s.
Did you go to college?
Yes, I did.
What's the highest level of achievement? What's the highest degree level?
I have a BSA.
Okay. So, all seriousness, you want a man who's in church, but you're not working with the church to help you find a
man. Yeah.
Is it that you want a man in church, or you just want somebody
who is a Christian?
Yep.
I mean, who is a Christian? Well, why? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
I said, but why?
Why do I want someone who's a Christian?
Yes. Why do you?
Because I want someone who has the same faith as me, who has the same beliefs as I do.
I don't buy that, man. Because if you did, you'd be working with the church to help you find a man, and that's the first thing you'd be looking for is a Christian man. Because was your last boyfriend a Christian?
He was.
But he was married.
Mm-hmm.
So you were committed. So what were you doing in that situation with that married man, Christian woman?
I did. Actually,
I'm sorry. Did that cut a little too deep?
No, it didn't cut deep
I mean,
at all.
because seriously,
He was
man.
just
I mean,
extremely deceptive. He was really good at it.
Christianity becomes a lot with modern Christian feminist women. Just becomes a way for you to disqualify men. It's not the way that you really qualify men, as I've shown by your own life. It's a way you disqualify men, but it's damn sure not a qualification.
Right. Yes.
So you were with a man for a year and a half.
No, it's been a year and a half.
How long were you guys together?
It was about 7 months.
7 months. 7 months. How many times did you take him to church?
I had known him for a while, though. I had known him.
Oh, Brandon, not well enough. How many times did you take him to church?
I'm sorry?
How many times did you take him to church?
I didn't.
Huh?
I did not take him to church.
But you want a man that can share your faith.
Yes.
But you didn't take him to church?
I didn't, because I'm just kind of private with my life for a while.
Remember go back last year, guys, when I first talked to Tiffany Chanel in Houston. And then I talked to that one sister who went to PV, and she was in her late 30s or 40s. I'll pull up the interview. Remember when I told her I knew her pastor, Tony Evans? I told you guys I know the Dallas scene very well. This is a mirror of that same call. Different woman, same scenario. Similar scenarios. Very similar scenarios. Dallas is littered with this. Ma'am, if you want a man who's really a Christian, why aren't you going to church with that man? Why isn't that man going to church with you? Why isn't your pastor helping you find? Why aren't you in a church that facilitates Christian relationships?
I just never thought about reaching out to my pastor about finding somebody. I was a part of the small groups, and that was about it. And, everyone was younger than me. And so, I don't know, I just kind of like left it at that. I've never really met anyone at the church outside of the small groups that I was a part of. And I've just never, I talk to my pastor all the time. That's not usually, I'm just never talking to him about relationships.
So I submit that you're really not trying to find a Christian man.
No, I am. It's just that.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Absolutely, you are not. I've just laid it out. You didn't even go to church with the man you went to see the last time. So how can you care about? So where did Christianity come up in that?
Well, we prayed together. We just didn't go to church.
Right. You also had sex together too. Premarital sex. Fornication.
I won't deny that, but.
Well, exactly. With a married man. Ma'am. I'm saying
I had no idea.
I'm saying, like you said, you knew him before. Okay, you said you knew him.
I did know.
See what would have happened? Hold on. See what would have happened if you'd have actually picked a man from the church? You would have known one thing: he wasn't married.
He actually went to Tony Evans's church. He's a member of that church.
If you'd have picked a man from your church, you'd have known he wasn't married.
I hear what you're saying.
And if you took him to Concord, even though he went to Tony Evans church, just slipped. Oh, damn it.
Oh, Faith. Not World Harvest. I'm going to another. I can't think. of the name of it. But yeah, Tony Evans' church.
Shout out to Pastor Haynes. Appreciate Wes.
That's
Freddie Haynes.
Freddie Haynes.
Mm-hmm. TD Jakes over at the Potter's house. But the problem, if you took him to your church, Concord is such a lot. If you took him to your church, somebody would been like, that man married.
You're right.
I know. See, Christianity is supposed to shield you from all this, not open you up to all this madness. For you to come and tell me that the problem is the men in Dallas, I would not let you visit that bullshit on them. When it shows in your life that the men that you picked aren't even lining up with what you say is important. And in practice, you're not doing these things. So Christianity cannot save you. You're just using it to filter out men that you don't find desirable. And this happens too often down there. I'm going to move you to the side because I don't know you enough to say this about you. So I'm going to move you to the side. There's so many women down in Dallas who are pseudo-Christians, Christian feminists. It is just rampant with them. Dallas stinks with these women. They come in with their Bibles talking good, and they running through the Dallas like Jezebels. And then wanting men to be saved. All right, back over to you. At 42 years old, ma'am, if you want a man who's a Christian, and it's an important part, you need to really start working with your pastor or somebody in a church that has a thriving singles ministry where you may have a better selection of men. May even have to switch church homes. If that's really a determination. But at 42 years old, wanting children and all that other kind of stuff, man, it's going to.
I go back and forth with the children thing.
Okay.
I'm like, I enjoy my freedom, but then
right, man. I mean, I'll be honest, man. Are you really cut out to be somebody's wife?
Why would you say that?
You enjoy.
Why wouldn't I be?
You enjoy your
enjoy my freedom.
Oh, don't check that. Whoa. Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Why wouldn't you be? Based upon what you said, you enjoy your freedom. You go back
enjoy
and
my
forth.
Freedom, being able to just come and go.
Still enjoying your freedom, not necessarily wanting to have a kid. You're becoming somebody's wife.
Having a kid.
Hold on, ma'am. As a wife, what is your job as a wife? Your number one job as a wife is damn what? Especially as a Christian. What is a woman's role on this planet?
To cater to the man.
Nope.
And take care of his needs.
Nope. To be a helpmeet. Not to come and go as you wish, not to have freedom.
I'm not saying freedom and come as I want with a husband. I'm saying more so like if I'm in a relationship if I have a husband and we don't have children, we can go freely.
I get it.
We can travel easily without children. But if we have children, then we have to
travel. What are you talking about?
Babysitter
travel.
And all.
Are you talking about traveling nationally? You talking about traveling internationally and nationally?
Both.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an educator.
You're a teacher?
Yes.
What are you in pre-K? What are you in grade school, college?
High school.
High school. All right. Now, I do know Texas teachers make pretty good money, but they're not rich.
I do a lot of things on the side. I do private lessons and I teach group fitness. I have my own.
So I asked you the ultimate question, ma'am, and it wasn't to insult you, but are you really cut out to be would you, in your marriage vow, would you say love, honor, and obey?
Absolutely.
Would you be submissive to your husband?
Absolutely.
Okay. So at 42, there are all kind of situations you can work out, but the thing is, ma'am, it comes out ultimately down to the same thing with every relationship. What kind of man do you want? What kind of man do you want? And then what kind of woman do the men that you want? And what are you willing to do to get them? I don't doubt that you know what you want, but do you know what the kind of men you want from a woman?
Yes, I mean, I feel like it's a partnership, and what I give is what I expect to get back.
Partnership?
Yeah.
Why do Christian women keep talking about partnerships? Where's partnership in the Bible? I don't understand this Christian feminism stuff. Where's partnership in Bible? It's not a partnership. He has headship over you.
Okay. I mean, I don't really think of it in that way. I think of any working relationship is give and take. I think of it as a partnership. That's what I'm searching for. I'm searching for a best friend, a partner.
Okay. Well, many
Not s-
many Christian feminists are. Many
I
Christian
wouldn't call
womanist
myself a
feminists.
feminist.
Most Christian feminists don't. They believe in equality and partnership, and they talk and move in lots of similar ways. And in my channel, if you've been around, how long you watch my content?
Actually, this is my first time.
Well, ma'am, I have talked to different varying versions of Christian feminists, like at least once every couple of weeks. So anybody who's watched my channel, they're probably having a good old time in the comment section, like, yep, we know what this is, because this is rampant in the Black community. Black women want Christian men, but you don't want to live like in the order, the divinity in which God aligned us. You want partnerships. You want this different arrangement. Doesn't really work. This is why men in general, this is why most men have left, many Black men have left the church.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, all right, but I got to get on to the next person.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, have a good day though.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
You know, what's bewildering to me is that a lot of these women want to come into these situations and they want it to go exactly how they would like it to go and what they think is the interpretation of what they've read. So they think that what the Bible says is come here and be a man's helpmate. And what they then what they then do when they read that is say, well, look, he's looking for a partner. That's exactly what he's looking for. He's looking for somebody to be by his side. So clearly he's looking for me to be the partner and the leader. So I'm the leader of the relationship. I'm the one that's supposed to call the shots and help him lead. That's what I'm here to do. Help him lead or help him by leading. And that's not what it says. This woman even went out to go freeze her eggs because she knew when she was a bit younger that the likelihood of her having children during that time or during any time in the foreseeable future was going to be few and far between. It's going to be far, far out. So what did she decide to do? She decided to freeze her eggs. Now, when it all unravels, she's not even really sure if she wants to be a mother because being a mother may be a little time consuming. She likes to come and go as she pleases. So one, she doesn't want to have a responsibility to anyone other than herself. She wants a Christian man, but she doesn't really want a Christian man. She wants someone that believes in God and is going to follow with her rules and regulations of how she thinks things are going to be. She's a very masculine woman. And you can tell by the simple response that was given when her and Kevin was going back and forth about the Christian feminist and the why would you have children then, or why are you even a wife? Once those triggering questions came up, which should be normal for anyone, but when those triggering questions came up, you could clearly see the masculine energy come out of this woman. You can see that on a surface level it's going to seem like a normal conversation, but as you keep engaging with her, you're going to notice this masculine energy come out and also this Christian feminine energy come out. And those two things aren't a good mix. And they're not going to be a good mix for any man worth his salt. It just won't be. So we need to start being more realistic with ourselves, being more practical. If you decided that you weren't going to have children, cool, that's you. But you decided to freeze your eggs and you want to have them later, and they have to be under the exact circumstances you want them under, unlikely. Then she'll go around telling everybody how men ain't this and men ain't that and where all the good men go. Meanwhile, these were her life choices. I want everyone to please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.